Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to my channel Tarot Z. I am Z and I'm going to be doing your tarot reading, finding out what are the messages with the cards that come out in today's reading for you. Thank you so much for joining and for being here for the reading. So let's begin. Let's find out what cards come out and what messages come through the cards that come out in today's reading. So the first card we have is the Nine of Cups, and we have some water sign energy with this. You could be dealing with a Cancer or a Pisces or even a Scorpio. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. And the Page of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the Queen of Cups. So with the Queen of Cups showing up here at the bottom of the deck, this does feel like an energy of being able to connect on a deep level, on an emotional level. I do feel like with this Queen of Cups showing up over here, it also feels like an energy of being very deeply invested in the situation. I do feel like there's a lot of care. And with this Nine of Cups showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being in a space where somebody's very content with the connection and how deep things go. I do feel like they feel for you very deeply, very strongly. And with this Nine of Cups showing up over here, this energy also feels like feeling like a lot of satisfaction with the connection or about you. I do feel like this person even is viewing you as a wish fulfillment in this connection, or something about what you are doing or what this connection is representing to this person is something they've been after or they've been seeking. But it does feel like it's really satisfying something that they've been searching for. I do feel like with the Knight of Cups showing up over here though, this energy does feel slow. It does feel like a steady progress. It does also feel like an energy of taking your time in this connection. I do feel like also being able to move at a moderate pace being something that feels true to you, or it feels satisfying to you. It does feel like being able to have that sense of consideration in the way things are moving in this connection. But this Knight of Pentacles showing up over here, this energy does also feel a bit cautious. So it does also feel like a lot of the things moving in this connection at a very moderate pace, so having to do with wanting to be able to be cautious and ensure that things are approached in a way that is going to be beneficial in the long term. I do feel like with this Page of Swords though, this feels like an energy of being very, very interested. This person you are dealing with is someone who's quite curious. I do feel like they're very curious about you, and there's also a desire to be able to understand you, where you're at, what you are doing. But it's like they're watching from a distance, because a lot is not communicated verbally, but it does feel like this person thinking about you quite a lot. And I do feel like you're kind of staying on this person's mind especially. And with this Queen of Cups showing up over here, this energy feels like there's a level of sincerity in that interest and even in that curiosity. It's coming from a place of genuine intent. So I'm going to clarify these cards. We have the Six of Swords. It's in the reverse, but we have some air sign energy with this. You could also be dealing with a Gemini or Libra or even Aquarius. And we've got the Hangman in the reverse, and with this Hangman we do have some Pisces energy as well. So you could also be dealing with, again, a Pisces. And we have the Three of Pentacles. And at the bottom of the deck we've got the Nine of Swords. So this Nine of Swords showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of kind of being in a space where somebody is kind of, they're very worried. I do feel like it does feel like this person being very much in their head about things, but I feel like it's in a way that's like them kind of overthinking or even kind of being worried. And it does feel like with this Nine of Swords showing up over here, do you feel like the care kind of also being a bit detrimental to themselves? This person is staying up at night, losing sleep over the connection. I do feel like with the Six of Swords showing up in the reverse, this feels like an energy of someone who's in a space where it's like an inability to move on from something. I do feel like they want to be able to work something out or have a conversation that needs to be had, or this person wants to be able to kind of offer some kind of closure or a conversation to be able to work things out. I do feel like with this Six of Swords showing up over here, it feels like a very chaotic energy, but it feels like a desire to make things work and be able to kind of hash out that chaos. I do feel like with this Hangman in the reverse, this also feels like an energy of being in a space where could be a lot of realizations about things, about this person, or even about the situation and the way it's making you feel. But this Hangman showing up in the reverse, this feels like an energy of being able to gain clarity in a situation. And I also feel like communication also being something that is feeling more comfortable to be able to communicate something because you're in a space where you have more feels like being able to have more perspective over things, and it feels like more clarity being brought into the situation. But with this Hangman showing up in the reverse, this energy does feel like an active energy as far as being able to not only sit with that information but also be able to kind of offer that communication or conversation with someone. With the Three of Pentacles showing up over here, this also feels like an energy of being noticed, being recognized. And I do feel like you definitely have this person's attention. You stand out to them and they notice you. I do feel like with the Three of Pentacles showing up over here, this also feels like an energy of being able to work together or working well together. This connection could also be one that does take place within the workspace. And do you feel like with this Three of Pentacles showing up over here, this feels like an energy of standing out in a setting that is rather mundane. It feels like something that is like the everyday, almost monotonous kind of a situation, but it does feel like you kind of having this person's attention, and I do feel like also giving this person a reason to be excited. So I'm going to clarify these cards. We have chemistry, and we have retreat and getting to know each other. So with this chemistry card showing up over here, this does feel like a connection that is based on something, and I feel like with this chemistry card showing up over here, it's a feeling that is mutual. You do get that there's a lot of attraction as well within this connection, almost like a magnetic attraction in your connection with this person. I also feel like your interactions also reflect to that as well. With this retreat card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of kind of being able to have opportunity to be able to spend time together, or that being something that you are desiring with this person is offering you. I do feel like with this retreat card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of also kind of coming out of a time of having been in a space where it could have felt like there was withdrawal within this connection, or there could have been a silent period, or even no contact with this Hangman showing up in the reverse. But this feels like an energy of coming out of that space. It does feel like also being able to connect more closely within your connection. It does feel like also having it's like the distance making it's feeling the distance or the absence kind of being something that is making your heart grow fonder, and it's also reflecting in the reconnection as your connection being stronger. You do feel like with this getting to know each other card showing up over here, this does feel like an energy of being able to have your bond kind of deepening. I do feel like with this getting to know each other card showing up over here, it still feels like an energy of being able to get to know someone on a deeper level and being able to be invited into what may be somebody's private thoughts, and them being more open within this connection and more expressive. I do feel like with this Page of Swords showing up over here, this energy feels very reserved. That it does feel like there is a lot beyond the surface. So there is a lot to explore and a lot to talk about when it comes to this person. And I do also feel like this person being very intrigued and wanting to be able to get to know you on a deeper level. So I do feel like this connection kind of being able to deepen as far as your bond. And I do feel like with the chemistry card also showing up over here, it does also feel like being able to recognize a connection that feels like a hidden gem as well. So it feels like being able to have a connection where there's a lot to unpack, or a lot to this connection, a lot that goes beyond the surface. And I do feel like with this getting to know each other card showing up over here, it feels like an energy of somebody kind of breaking their silence is what I'm getting. Well, the Queen of Cups showing up over here, this energy does feel quite loving. It feels caring. It also feels very sincere. So I do also feel like there is a sense of being able to have a connection that feels like it is also, when it comes to this person's intentions, or when it comes to even a connection as far as also being able to get to know this person is a person who has, I feel like there's someone who's careful. They're not going to hurt you, or they take caution in order to not hurt you. So those are the messages I'm getting with these cards for you, Sagittarius, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, Sagittarius.